Hello, I'm live. Um, I'll get cracking in a couple of minutes. Let a couple more people join us, and tell you what, we'll let you see me face. Hello. This is going to be a bit of a quick one, bit of an incidental. There we go. I've just come in from work. I'm very tired, and a couple of things to talk about, but we'll dive in a minute or two. But if you kind of know we're live now, it's because you either follow me on the old Twitters or you are subscribe on YouTube, and for that I'm very much grateful. Thank you very much indeed for supporting. Of course, if you enjoy this video, if you've enjoyed all the other videos, very Yorkshire, like and subscribe. Please do hit the notification bell, and do join in for other videos that I do, usually on a Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. Right. If you're watching, welcome along. A bit of an incidental episode, something I'm just going to throw in partially to talk Thought Bubble last weekend, because I did post a review up on theconventioncollective.com. A couple of things I want to just add to that, which, we'll get to it. Into the Blue Mister. Unexpected late night goodness. Yes, don't worry, this isn't Englishman in San Diego after dark. It ain't going to get rude, so don't worry about it. We're going to be talking Thought Bubble a little bit. We're going to be talking Wales Comic Con and what's going to be coming up with them and what I'm going to be doing with them, because I am going to be there. I'm going to be panel hosting for them at the Telford International Convention Centre, which isn't in Wales, but we're going to get into that in a bit. What else we got? We've also got another convention that's happening this weekend, which is the London Film and Comic Con at the Olympia. One of my favourite venues in London. I'm not a fan of that particular greenhouse, but what can you do? And also next weekend you have Comic-Con Special Edition. So lots of cons happening, which is great. But let's dive into first things first, Thought Bubble, because there were one or two things that I didn't address in my review. I didn't talk about the guests. I didn't talk about too many of the people that you could see there and the exhibitors that were on standby, and also what I kind of got up to. I will admit I'm kind of a sucker for my signatures on my books. So I did end up doing a little bit of signature hunting, certainly from the likes of James Tynan IV, from Vero Martinez Bueno, from Martin Simmons, who was an absolute diamond. Who else did I get some signatures from? Oh, yes, Jock. Jock did a fantastic beer, which you can see here. This is Northern Monk beer. I'm not necessarily an IPA drinker, but we're going to see what it tastes like in a minute. They did a cracking piece of Judge Dredd art for it. This was a collaboration between Jock, Thought Bubble, 2000 AD, and Rebellion, and Northern Monk, of course. And we're going to review that in a bit. I got Jock to sign a tin or two, so we're going to dive into that in a minute. But Jock was incredibly accommodating, as were the guys on that particular row of tables. So it was great to speak to the likes of Ron V and Dan Waters and all those jazz. It was great. But the two types of attendees were the small press and also those kind of like mainstream known artists. So that was rather cool. Hello, Aaron. Nice to see you. Welcome along, sir. Aloha from San Diego. When it comes to the small press, like I said in my review, it was nicely laid out. You had a lot of distance between the rows of tables, which meant people weren't feeling so hemmed in, especially when you were moving through that first couple of halls, which meant you weren't actually feeling kind of like pressured to stay either in one room or whatever. You actually just felt a little bit more of a freedom to flow through the halls. And that, I think, actually resulted in better sales, because people could actually see the books better and they could see the displays a little bit better because there was a little bit more space. So it kind of worked out. I think on that regard, it worked really well. In the back room, though, in the Bubble Boy, the Richards Hall, Comixology Originals, and I think it's Bubble Boy at the back. You had your professionals and you had those people which had a little bit more of an international draw to them, like the likes of James Tynan IV, Michael Delinius. I've mispronounced that. It's actually in his Twitter as well, and I need to remember how to pronounce his name. Martin Simmons, etc. Now, there was something that I didn't put into my review, which I really should have mentioned, and that is actually the cost of seeing these guys and getting your autographs on your books. Both sides of the hall kind of did different things. So, for example, Martin Simmons, Alvaro, Michael, James, etc. They were on one side of the hall and they were being managed by Scott's Collectibles. So it's basically a table of Scott's Collectibles represented artists. On the other side of the room, you had Kirby's comic art, of which there were a fair old amount of them. So it was quite impressive. David Mack, Zazuzu, which was very, very good. Gilliam March, that kind of thing. So they were two sides of the room. And they had two different approaches to the way that they were handling signatures. Scott's Collectibles, the idea was that you had 5 free signatures and then you paid a premium per signature. So, for example, for James Tynan IV, it was 5 free signatures and then £15, I believe 15, it may have been a bit more, £15 a signature. For Martin Simmons, it was £12 a signature, for example. What I actually discovered as well, that Martin Simmons, every penny that he raised through Scott's went actually to a charity. So I'm hoping that was the same for James. Fingers crossed. But that was the kind of approach on that side of the room. So you had 5 free and then you paid your premium per signature. So what actually seemed to happen was you had a line snake in to get your book signed or whatever. You then kind of joined a little bit of a circle and then circled back round until you got all your books signed. So that was one way of kind of doing it. That's the way I kind of did it as well. Caroline kind of helped out as well. So I managed to get all of my books signed. So that was rather cool. So that's one way of doing it. Then you had the other side of the room, which you had Kirby's comic art. They came at it slightly different. It was £5 per signature. In fact, all your signatures were free, except if you were getting your books CDC certified, or if you were getting them slabbed and you're getting certificates for them, then you paid a premium, which means if you were a fan, which you were just taking your books to get signed to put in your collection, you got them for free. If you were getting them actually slabbed for either resale or speculation in that regard, you had to pay. I actually quite like that approach. I think that's okay. If you're paying for the worth of a signature, I think that makes a little bit more sense. Tell me what you think about that. Jump in on the comments if you think that's a half decent idea. What would you say would your ideal situation be for signatures at a convention? So that's that. All in all, though, my review stands. I think it solved a lot of problems, and I think in 2022, it's just going to be stellar. I think it's going to be great when we get all the international guests back coming in, and it's just going to rock it. I think everyone's really going to come back with a bang for 2022. But this was a nice way to just kind of show willing. I think that's pretty good. Sarita P, she prefers free up to 5 and then pay. That's pretty much, like I say, what Scott's was doing. So that was rather good. We do have 1 or 2 people. Into the Blue Mister. Love the Jock beer. He's a lovely guy to talk to. I would love to own a Magnola Hellboy beer bottle, but postage from the States is a killer. Yeah, and I don't know if it'll actually survive that kind of trip, but who knows? I also am fully aware of the last time I had alcohol near a laptop. I'm going to be incredibly careful. So don't worry, I'm going to watch myself. So there we go. Yeah. Once again, if you're enjoying the video, like and subscribe, and we'll dive into that. But I would say Thought Bubble was an absolute success. I will be doing a karaoke night next year. Already, I'm looking forward to that, and see if we can get something special sorted out for next year. If you want to come along and sing your hearts out and get slightly merry on a Friday night. So that should be rather cool. Right, what else can we talk about? Wales Comic Con. Yes, this is happening on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So the 20th and 21st of November. They're going to have a main stage, which rather nicely is named John Chalice main stage, which is the excellent and most legendary Only Fools and Horses actor, a good friend of Wales Comic Con and indeed most conventions here in the UK. He was a true gentleman, an absolute joy to talk to if you got the chance. And unfortunately, he did pass away. I believe it was early on this year. So in his honor, it's the John Chalice live stage, which is fantastic. So you're going to have 45-minute to an hour panels on the main stage, and you've got yourself quite the considerable lineup. You've got an audience with John Barrowman. You've got all sorts of people to talk to. It's going to be quite an impressive setup. However, we also have them a small stage. If you've been to like an MCM Comic Con, certainly the London ones, you may know that is out on the arena floor or on the kind of like the show floor. They put up a little bit of a side stage, a couple of sofas up there, and do kind of like mini interviews, a little bit more loose and informal. And that's where I come in. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a little bit more shaven, put my waistcoat on, and it's going to be rather good. We are going to be hosting a number of these panels over the course of the weekend. But like I say, these are the live lounge approaches which are going to be happening over the course of the weekend. So let's see if we can just show you. This is the Wales Telford Comic Con live lounge. This is the arena stage, and we've got two days. We're going to be doing these on the Saturday. That's the Sunday. We don't want to be able to look at that. We'll have a look at the Saturday. There we go. Saturday first. There's a couple here which I'm very excited about. Number one, we've got The Crow. James O'Barr is going to be joining us in Telford, and I'm so looking forward to meeting the creator of The Crow. So that's going to be very cool indeed. You've also got Harry Potter. You've got Mark Williams, who played Ron the Weasley's father, Peter. So he's going to be rather cool. We do have a DC Universe panel at 5 o'clock. I'm not entirely sure who's actually going to be taking part in that, but we've got a couple of DC actors that are going to be taking part in the whole convention. So yeah, it's going to be rather cool to get the chance to see and speak to them. But that's the live lane, the arena stage. This is the live lounge taking place from midday all the way through to about 5:30, something like that. And we're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to be doing some stuff on stage, and hopefully you can join us for that. That's on the Saturday. Like I say, we also have Sunday lineup as well. Oh, look, a picture of my cat. This is the Sunday lineup, which we're going to be doing 12 o'clock start again. We've got I think we've got one less panel on here because we are going to be wrapping up at about 5 o'clock. But you've got Assassin's Creed. I think you're going to have the voice talent to the games joining us on stage. Teen Wolf, I think we've got a couple of the actors from the reboot from a couple of years ago. I'll come back to 2 o'clock. Spartacus, we've got at 3 o'clock, we've got a couple of the actors from the Spartacus series. I've no idea what Pokemon is or what the actual theme of that Pokemon panel is. I am not actually a Pokemon player or necessarily a Pokemon fan. So I'm going to have to do some research on that particular one and find out exactly what's going on. We'll find out. But I am a fan of Battlestar Galactica. And more importantly, I'm more a fan of the actors that are actually going to be joining us on stage. We've got ourselves a couple. And I'm going to be speaking to Edward James Olmos and Mary McDonald. This is going to be very special indeed, and probably one of the highlights of my day, if not my weekend, if not my year, if not forever. I'm a huge Edward James Olmos fan. I'm a huge Mary McDonald fan, and I'm so looking forward to talking to those two. It's going to be a fun weekend. I think what we've got planned for this particular show is going to be rather cool. And if you are going to be heading to Telford, please do join us for what we've got planned. So yeah, I think it's going to be rather cool. We've got ourselves Dan Berry, who's joining us. It doesn't feel like it's Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. No, it doesn't. Sorry, it's just a bit of an incidental one, so bear with me. We are going to do the Jock beer in a minute. So there we go. Into the Blue Mister. Not a big fan of CGC. So I like the idea of having the option to get things signed and not have them slabbed. Comic books are meant to be read and not stared at from a plastic vault. I'm old school. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I am a collector. I'm kind of like one of those people that likes the idea of kind of got to catch them all. So trying to get those people that was involved in a book to kind of jump in and sign a book. So Kieran Gillen, I like to get his books when I can. Like I say, if they show up at a comic convention, which I'm attending, then I will do my best to get my books signed, and I try and get them all if I can. So a bit of a collector in that regard. Not collector to resell, just kind of like collector of signatures. So it's kind of like almost like a challenge to get as many of them signed as I possibly can. Every once in a while, an absolute gem rolls past, and it's just a joy to kind of get a signature on there. For example, I have the issue 1 or the Sandman universe. David Mack was a guest at Thought Bubble this weekend, so it was great to get his signature on there, along with Becky Cloonan and Dan Waters. So that's racking up to be a very tasty cover indeed, with some really great signatures on there as well. But I mean, for example, one of the first Thought Bubbles that I attended, this was at the Royal Armouries. We had a whole bunch of people showing up and signing a special edition copy of Witches. So we had Scott Snyder, we had Jock, we had all sorts of people just like signing that. So that's a great little souvenir of that particular weekend. So that's the way I kind of come up my signatures. But it does kind of take up a little bit too much of my time. And Caroline has turned around and said, you know what, this could be done. You could do something else with this time. But you know what, I'm okay with doing what I do. So dragging it. To be fair, I'm actually quite grateful that a number of the people cancelled at Comic-Con this year, at Thought Bubble this year, because heaven knows I took a lot of comics with me this time round, and if any more guests had showed up, I think I'd have absolutely broken my back to get there. So there we go. Right, so I tell you what, I'm going to do this now because I don't want you to wait any longer. I'll go do a bit of a review of this. So like I say, this is the Judge Dredd artwork as done by Mark Simpson, also known as Jock. Is it that way? Yes, it is that way. There's his signature. It is actually signed kind of on the artwork already. It's very, very small. It's there. But I got him to sign the actual tin as well. So there we go. Like I say, this is a team up between Northern Monk, the brewers of said beer, Thought Bubble, 2000 AD, and Rebellion. So I have myself a Millennium Falcon beer mug. And like I say, I'm going to be incredibly careful so I don't pour this over the laptop, because I remember what happened. I had alcohol near this beer, a bit behind this laptop before. Like I say, I'm not a massive IPA drinker, so I'm really curious to see how this is going to pan out. But it's got to be said, that's a very smooth. That's an interesting looking beer. Okay, I'm going to let that settle a bit. Don't open it. All the mintiness will escape. It's opened. It's done. It's done. I've got the can. At least that's a souvenir. But there we go. It's not exactly settling. So it's a strong IPA. I mean, let's have a quick look at how it's described on the actual tin. Northern Monk, Eldorado, Idaho 7. It's a DDH IPA, whatever that means. Any beer professionals who are watching this, do let me know, because I'd like to know. 440 mils, so yeah, a full pint. Eldorado, Idaho 7, Amarillo, and Citra Incognito. I'm guessing it's a bit of a blend, but it clocks in at 7.4%. Okay, it doesn't seem to be settling. So I'm just going to dive straight in and let you know what I think of it. Like I say, not an IPA drinker, so who knows? Into the Blue Mister, I'm getting a hint of drockness. Well, drock is bad, so I don't want to be having a hint of drockness, surely. Here we go. That's really nice. Like I say, not an IPA drinker, but that's not as sharp as some IPAs that I've drunk. That's a very smooth pint. It's kind of, you can kind of tell from the coloring. It's very fruity. There's like an orange in there. Like I say, it doesn't smack you about. It says a lot that I've kind of necked a third of it there, but it's very fruity. It's very refreshing. And it doesn't, the thing with IPAs that I often have is that kind of like kick right at the back of the mouth. It just really kind of catches you right at the back with IPAs. That's very pleasant. That is very nice indeed. And like I say, a nice little souvenir at the back end of it as well. So there you go. That's Judge Dredd. Artwork by Jock. Exclusive for Thought Bubble. Very nice. Hello, Anil. Anil's saying slow down. You know what? I could easily neck that, and that could probably put me on my ass. But there we go. Okay, what's this? Chuck Cook. Don't think you're seeing the comments from my phone. DDH, double dry hopped. Looks like a lazy IPA. Oh, hazy IPA. It's supposed to be cloudy. Well, it is. And like I say, it's not settling. So that, I'm guessing, is how it's supposed to be. You could tell by the kind of like the flavor of it. And that's not actually dissimilar to how I'm seeing on my screen at the moment. So it's not, the camera's not kind of like offsetting it. That is basically how it's shaping up. It's actually looking just a little bit like the color, a little bit dark maybe, of my actual branding. But there we go. That's, I'm going to leave that there. That's very nice indeed. Thank you very much indeed for the expert knowledge there, Chuck. Thank you. Double dry hopped. Yeah, I could easily just neck that. Very, very tasty indeed. Very, very good. Okay, what else can we talk about? Yes, like I say, this is not the only convention that's happening this weekend. In fact, there's actually a convention happening as of tomorrow, which is something that I didn't think would happen. Or at least, I knew the convention they'd kind of go ahead with, but they were going to, I didn't think they would do a Friday, because you can imagine that people are still kind of like getting back into some kind of work. And I think Friday conventions only kind of work if it's a big, massive kind of like effort which takes over a town, like San Diego Comic-Con. London Comic-Con doesn't have anything outside of the Olympia. And I think for people to take that time off, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one to do. But they are doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the London Film and Comic-Con, which, as it happens, we also have ourselves a little bit of a preview here. Like I say, taking place at the Olympia. I'm not a fan of that venue whatsoever, but considering the people that they've got involved, it's a hell of a lineup. It's something very impressive indeed. Jenna Coleman, Bernard Hill, George Takei, Lance Henriksen, Robert Patrick, who has arrived in the UK and is very happy. And if you get the chance to spend 20 minutes listening to Robert Patrick talking, the man has a interesting mind, fantastic person to talk to. Christopher Eccleston, Robbie Coltrane, Robert England, Ming-Na Wen. Now, Ming-Na Wen usually posts a video on her social media, on her Instagram, to let people know that she's arrived in a country. Had no video from Ming-Na yet, but you never know. Fingers crossed. She may be kind of getting settled into a London hotel as we speak. So she's getting her ready for tomorrow. But again, the names that are involved as we move further down the list. Marina Serkis, Kristana Loken from Terminator Genesis. Yeah. Who else we got? A whole bunch of Star Wars people in there as well. Simon Williamson's, Rashenda Sandel, Andy Seacombe, for example. But you've got the likes of Tommy Flanagan. You've got Bonnie Langford in there, Bernard Hill as well. You've also got yourself a fair number of comic creators as well. Lee Townsend, Lee Sullivan, Lee Bradley, all the Lees. Jessica Martin, Ian Richardson, Simon Furman. Admittedly, these are kind of mainstays of the comic village at the London Film and Comic Con. But you can't knock the lineup. They're a good crew. You've got yourself some more comic guests as well. So I'll tell you what, let's have a quick gander at some of the others as well. Nope, that's it. Paul Vaselva. But yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment there. We could have done with a couple more guests. Oh, here we go. So let's 22. Oh, that's next year's guest. So let's go up and have a look at some more film and TV guests. This is if you're, of course, heading to the Olympia in London. Who else have we got in this lineup? Nick Blood. Always good to have him dicking around. Sandra Dickinson. Good grief. She's still doing cons. Excellent. We've got Brian Blessed. You've got Amanda Abington. You've got Andrew Robinson. Why isn't he more high profile? Good grief. It's great to have Andrew showing up at a con. Nick Frost as well. Kim Coates. Good God, you've got some great names in here which are in your headliners. Tom Skerritt. John Wesley Shipp. Bloody hell. Yeah, this is a hell of a lineup, and I think anyone who goes to see some amazing talent, that is quite a draw. There's Barry Bostwick in there, for God's sake. Why isn't he being pushed more? Good Lord. And Robbie Coltrane. Listen, it's a fantastic lineup. If you are heading to London Film and Comic Con, do head there. Although I will turn around and say, like I say, I'm not a fan of the Olympia as a venue generally. But I'm also a little bit I mean, I went to a London Film and Comic Con pre-COVID, and I had a bit of an issue with just the tone, because it does feel those people that go for signatures or photographs, it's hardcore. It's those people who are there, and really are kind of like there to get all the photos they can and spend money on them, and really kind of it's a tad aggressive. So I kind of shied away from it. But you know what? If that's your bag, you knock yourself out. There you go. That's all that I'll say on that one. But no, it's good. I am going to mention about that Into the Blue Mister. Yeah, that's a hell of an announcement. I'm very impressed with that. So we'll come back around to that. Chill your boots. So you've got, like I say, Wales Comic Con happening this weekend. You've got London Film and Comic Con happening as of tomorrow, so this weekend. But you also have a rather big show that's happening next weekend. And I'm hoping we've got one or two people who are watching right now. I know that Dan Berry's watching, Chuck as well. If you have your phone and if you have an internet connection, I'm going to be messaging everybody over the course of the next week. I want to see what's going on at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition. That's taking place next weekend. The guest list is up and running, or at least the special guest list is up and running, and also the announcements for the programs and the guests as well. It's a smaller affair. They've also shared a bit of a map as well, so how the actual lineup of the building is going to be. So you've got your artist alley, you've got all of your elements of the whole lineup. So this is how the actual show is going to end up looking. Let's have a little bit of a lineup. So, for example, it's all going to take place in the convention center. It's going to be a little bit smaller. All the registration is going to take place in what would be Hall H. So just left of this lot. So A, B, C, D, E, F. So it's going to be down there. So it's going to be a little bit of a smaller, it really is going to feel like a very small kind of setup. A little bit, by those things, a little bit shorter as well. But yeah, it's going to be very much kind of restricted, and it's all going to be on that one floor. So that's how it's going to go. Yeah, you also have a whole bunch of people that are taking place, and yeah, some great exhibitors. Some I know Aftershock are going to be showing up. Let's zoom in and let's see if we can see if we could see any names that we like the look of. Styling's well, Bates going to be there because they're local, so they're just up the road. So it's good to have them kicking about. Yeah, let's have a 3-0 Styling, UCC. None of the bigger names that you could possibly kind of throw at. Exhibitor tables at the back corner. It's going to be a bit of an interesting one. This when Bandai and Bluefin have the biggest booth in the room. I want to see how this is going to pan out. So please, if you have a phone handy, if you have an internet signal inside that building, can you please join us next Sunday? Because I want to see what's happening on the floor. So please do jump in on that. So that's the exhibit floor. But let's have a look at the special guests, because we talked about this briefly on the show just gone. Henry Barajaz, who was at Thought Bubble, he was kind of like almost marginalized at the back corner of Thought Bubble, but in San Diego Comic-Con, he's got himself a pride of place. So he is a special edition guest. Brian Benjamin, Kevin Eastman, well, he's a local lad, so all he has to do is just catch the trolley downtown. Greg Evans, you've got yourself Karen Owens as well. Sinner Grace, who's an amazing artist on Iceman, Wonder Woman, and Haunted Mansion. If you get the chance to see his work, please do. It's amazing. John Jennings, Ming Lei, Jay Lee, another incredible artist. Get the chance to check his work out. Sam Maggs, another fantastic writer. Dustin Nugent, Alex Nino, and on the next page as well, Cindy Pond, who's an author. Mimi Pond, cartoonist. Scott Shaw, one of the original people who created San Diego Comic-Con. So it's great to have that touchstone with the past. And you've got Brent Spiner as well, possibly the only Hollywood-ish guest on the old the lineup here. But yeah, William Stout as well, artist on Conan, Predator, and Master Universe. So it's a reasonably decent lineup, but it's not exactly all of the headliners that are in the room. Considering that Jock is going to be in town, you've also got who else is going to be there? Not Scott Snyder. You've got somebody else that Jock is going to be doing a panel with. You've got some half-decent comics names there, but they have not been given special guest status. Those that have been given special guest status have got their hotel rooms paid for, and they've got their, they're kind of like given the VIP treatment. Everyone else has to kind of pay their way. Now, I know that San Diego Comic-Con has taken a massive hit when it comes to how the money, that war chest. At the end of the day, it's a little bit obvious that they're really saving some cash, and I'm wondering exactly what the purpose of Comic-Con special edition is. Is it to just kind of continue the lifeblood of San Diego Comic-Con, or is it to keep their charitable status by actually holding an event? It has, after all, been 2 years. I don't know. But this doesn't look like they're kind of really pushing the boat out. It could even be a case of that they are just keeping things modest just to kind of keep the numbers down because they want to just ease themselves back into it. There's so many things I want to know about this show when it happens. So please, we've got Chuck Cook. As long as I can get a decent connection, I'll give you a view. Please do. That'd be great. Dan Berry, yeah, that Davy Mack guy is getting his frequent flyers miles in. So's Jock. At the end of the day, they're zooming backwards and forwards as well. Ryan Benjamin is also local. You've also added another couple of names down here, Dan. Are you saying that these are San Diego chaps? That'd be nice. David Mack, Ben Templesmith. That'd be rather cool. Into the Blue Mist, it makes a change not to have the usual riot that happens at the Lego booth. You do have a Funko booth down the other end. Usually down where the game, the interactive video games section is. That's where they put Funko this year. It's an interesting one. Yeah. If you are attending, please tune in and please do try and video stream because we would love to see what's actually like on the floor. It'll be 10 a.m. on the Sunday, but please do let us know. Dan Berry, Mac is LA, Templesmith lives in downtown San Diego. There you go. That's stuff for you. Only a local would let us know. Thank you very much indeed, Dan. Right. What else is there? Last but not least, I'm sure there's something else. Oh, yeah. Something that was mentioned by Into the Blue Mister. Something I was going to mention possibly further down the line. I may even just do a tweet about it as well or post about it because the ICE, International Comic Expo, that's run by Shane Chebsey. Great shows. They pull in some great guests. They're comic-centric, very much like Thought Bubble, but a little bit more grassroots. Shane is the guy behind Comic Salopia, the ICE shows wherever they run, and they are going to be running or coming back with a show in Birmingham next year, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Shane was one of the first people to give me a comics or a panel hosting gig. The first one I did was for a pop culture show called MCon. But that was more about the actors and that kind of thing. Shane was the first one that actually took me on to do comics panels. And it's a pleasure to, I hope that I'm going to get invited to do the panels for this show because I'm really, really looking forward to it. Yeah, we have ourselves the first announced guest for ICE, which is Glenn Fabry, a genuine comics legend. I'm looking forward to the possibility of meeting, speaking to him. That's going to be rather cool. So, yeah, really, really looking forward to that. That's ICE in, I believe, 2022. And I'm trying to remember when that is going to be happening. I don't think we've got a date yet. If you do know that, Into the Blue Mister, do let me know because obviously I'd like to try and kind of like share that information. But yes, it's the ICE International Comic Expo. Let's see if we've got a date for it. No, we don't. We just have 2022. And like I say, if I just bring up their Facebook page, like I say, this was Shane Chebsey that shared this. Yeah, it's a cracking announcement. It really is that we're going to be having Glenn Fabry. It's going to be taking place. Oh, so we do have a date. Saturday, the 10th of September, 2022. Artist needs no introduction. We're talking Preacher, American Gods, Batman, and of course 2000 AD. And yeah, Glenn Fabry is an absolute ledge. Fantastic. How cool is that? So that's going to be taking place in September. And yeah, fingers crossed, I'm going to be free for that weekend. And I'm looking forward to meeting some more great guests that Shane will get lined up. Because I guarantee that will not be the only name. There'll be some serious class coming to that show. Really looking forward to it. A couple of comments. We've got ourselves Chuck Cook. Actually looking forward to the Bandai booth. They're going to have a Gundam base in the US for the first time. Result. And Into the Blue Mister, got a lot of time for Bill Stout. He's a proper old school artist. Bought a lot of his sketchbooks from his booths at previous SDCCs. The man's a legend. Absolutely. I can't deny it. So there we go. Right. I said I was going to try and keep this brief. It's 40 minutes in. I'm going to let you all get off and enjoy the rest of your day, or indeed, if you're here in the UK, get to bed. That's pretty much where I'm heading now. It hasn't settled too much, and it's still kind of cloudy. So yes, I think, Chuck, that's pretty much, you're on the ball with what it was. I thought about nicking it. For a second there, I thought about nicking it. Ooh, it's a really good pint. That is really nice. I'm trying to work out some words to describe the flavor. But like I say, with a lot of IPAs, you've got that real kind of punch in the back end. But this is just really smooth all the way down. Really nice. Dan Berry, chug it. Thank you very much indeed for the encouragement of me getting absolutely bollocksed on one can, because I'm seriously out of practice. That being said, on Friday, we had the fruity. There you go. There's a word. On the Friday, Comixology hosted a sort of like special guests, VIPs kind of night, and it happened to be in the bar below where I was drinking, and I was kind of like invited upstairs. Considering they put $3,000 behind the bar and they only spent like £1,200 about 3/4 of the way in. I'm sorry, but comics guys, we need to up our game. We need to spend some money. We need to get properly bollocks. But no, yeah, I held my own. I think I did okay. Admittedly, yeah, I won't be doing that again in a hurry, getting absolutely wasted. But I had a good night. Yes, Solicitor Smeg. Steady hands, Leonard. You can't afford another laptop. No, I certainly can't. No, I'm being very, very careful. Yeah, it's right there. It's away from the laptop. So there we go. Right. Okay, I'm going to get off. I have shared there that I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to be doing panel hosting on Saturday and Sunday at Telford at Wales Comic Con. So I'm really looking forward to heading there, meeting everybody, seeing everybody in person again. I'm going to be wearing my mask until I'm on stage, then keeping a bit of a distance. But looking forward to seeing everybody. Especially looking forward to, like I say, meeting James O'Barr. And I'm especially excited to meet the stars of Battlestar Galactica. We're talking Adama and President Roslin, of course, Edward James Olamos and Mary McDonnell. I'm looking forward to meeting these people and seeing everybody up close and personal again. It's going to be great to do an on-stage kind of presentation again. So that's going to be good. But it does mean that we're not going to be having a show this Sunday. So unless I'm able to kind of do a on the train kind of video at 6 o'clock, it's unlikely. So unfortunately, this week we're going to have to postpone again another Talking Con. For that, I completely apologize. I may try and do something a little bit further down the line, and we'll be kind of hopefully doing something on the Monday or Tuesday, give you a kind of taste of what White Wales was like. I've had somebody asking, what shirt am I wearing now without standing? Yeah, it's a Black Panther shirt that my missus bought me. So there we go. I don't know where she found it, but yeah, she got me a Black Panther t-shirt. It's actually quite cool, isn't it? There you go. A little bit tight around the midriff, but yeah, it's rather good. Into the Blue, mister. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you for the unexpected episode tonight. Again, thank you very much indeed for tuning in. It's much appreciated. Done. And there we go. That's the Judge Dredd. There we go. That's very, very nice. That's very, very pleasant. I like that. We have another can around as well, and I think Caroline might have to take a sample of that. Very tasty. Very good. Oh, Danbury's saying, oh, Saturday. at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition. My 46th, but you're 46? I wouldn't even put you in your early 40s, sir. That's impressive. There we go. And yes, I am. Listen, all right. I'm gonna address this one. Sell this to a Smeg. An all-white Black Panther shirt, isn't that an oxymoron? A white English lad, middle-class English lad. I did feel a little bit like I was appropriating a little bit a Black Panther t-shirt, but you know what? I love the artwork. I've no problem with it. It's a great cover that it's doing, so it's comfortable, and I'm all right with wearing it. So there we go. But no, I get it. When I first received it, and when I first thought about when I first wore it, I thought, am I appropriating at this point? But no, I'm okay with it. But there we go. Right. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If we can bring you something on Sunday, I'll try. If I can bring you stuff throughout the course of the weekend, I'll try. But I can't promise anything. But fingers crossed. If I can bring video footage or any kind of audio of my interviews, even better. Watch this space. That's all I can say. Take care. Thank you very much indeed. Once again, if you've enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed what I do, like and subscribe, hit the notification. You'll know when I go live. And definitely for San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition, we will be doing a live show. And hopefully we will be bringing you as many people as we possibly can onto the show to get a vibe of what is happening inside the San Diego Comic-Con convention floor at the convention center, because you have no idea how eager, anxious. I'm really excited, and I want to know what's going on with that show. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good one. All right. Take care. We'll see you soon. And as always, till the next time. Bye-bye.